so we might always start making these bold statements. The fight's coming up. Terrence Crawford is a lot stronger than Bud. I mean, Terrence Crawford is a lot stronger than Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter, of recent memory, has not shown that he's really, really a strong fighter. When it comes to 147, my best gauge for that is look how he fought. Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, it's a decent sized welterweight. He's decent. He's athletic, but when you look at him, he's pretty much the same size as Terrence Bud Crawford. He was not moving Keith Thurman around like you would think he would be, but coming down in weight. The only person that of recent memory I seen Shawn Porter bully and move around was the Fun Farah guy, the guy he just had a recent fight with. And even then, he was struggling to get around his jab. So Shawn Porter, in my opinion, I'm not saying he's gun shy. I'm not saying he's, you know what I'm saying? He's never been knocked out. So I'm not saying he's like chinny or nothing like that. But he don't take punches the same way. He's been hurt in every fight up to this point. He's been hurt in. And he's not moving around people like he used to move around people. He's not moving around people the way he moved around Paulie Malignaggi. You know what I'm saying? And Terrence Crawford, I'm being honest, man, Terrence Crawford is on his becoming, man. He's a lot stronger than people think he is. So what's your thought about that?
I think you're crazy for thinking that Shawn Porter is not stronger than Terrence Crawford. I think Terrence Crawford, what makes Terrence Crawford so special as far as his strength is not really his natural strength to me. It's his wrestling background. I think he know how to handle people that try to rough him up because he's a wrestler before he was a boxer, I believe, or he's been wrestling as long as he's been boxing, and he's good at it. So when people try to use those tactics, he knows how to counter them because he knows how to wrestle. So I think that he'll be able to handle it better than a lot of people think he can because he can wrestle. But I also think he has never been in the ring with a guy like Shawn Porter. I think that people try to compare Jeff Horn, and I think Jeff Horn, he had like uneducated pressure. I think with Shawn Porter, he's a lot of in and out, unpredictable, throw your timing off, and I think that can really take a while to figure out. And then he's not going to be used to me. He's not going to be used to a guy that's in his chest making him fight for the whole round. I want to know how he's going to handle that because he's used to doing it on his pace. He's used to fighting how he want to fight, and I don't think Shawn Porter's going to allow that. So can he keep that pace up of keeping Shawn Porter off him, putting punches together for 2.5 minutes every round? Can he keep that pace up for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds? I don't know if Terrence Crawford can do it. I do think Mean Machine was a good win for him now. The more I look at Mean Machine, I think he's a little bit better than people think he is. But other than that, I don't think he has fought anybody on the level of Shawn Porter. So it could be shell shock. I'm just curious to see how he's gonna react because this is gonna be the fight to me that's gonna be very telling. It's gonna tell me if Terrence Crawford who we thought he was, is he really the shit, or was he a guy that looked good against lesser competition? That's how I'm gonna look at it. Because with Shawn Porter, I don't care what nobody says, you can't take the credit from him if you beat Shawn Porter, especially if you beat Shawn Porter worse than Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, and Kell Brook. If he beats Shawn Porter, stops him, or beats him easily, you have to give him his credit as probably being the best 147-pounder in the world if he able to get rid of Shawn Porter easily.
I'm gonna take a little bit of the snippet you said in the show. I think that the educated pressure you're talking about is kind of what's going to get him in trouble. I think the educated pressure, the in and out movement, is going to get him in trouble because it makes gaps. It gives gaps for counterpunching. What Jeff Horn did was, with uneducated pressure, but it was all he can do. All he can do was come forward and lean on. So the shots was there. Yeah. I think Terrence Crawford can find the shots with Porter easier than he did with Jeff Horn because Shawn Porter, while he is going to be in his face like everybody thinks he's going to be, it's not going to be consistently. I don't care what nobody say. If you get punched enough, you're going to take your time before you rush in again. He proved it again when he fighting Keith Thurman. He took his time coming in. He proved it when he fought Errol Spence. He took his time coming in. Because you can't, when you getting punched in your face, you just can't rush and just rush in because your game plan called for it. You have to come in when it fits you. And finding that space and that range to rush in on Crawford, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be really, really tricky, especially when you switch hitting and you have the footwork that Terrence Crawford has. That is why I say he's tailor-made for Bud, because Bud's going to set them traps for him to think he can rush in the way he wants to. and it's gonna be detrimental to my opinion, man. Taylor made. I mean, I can't wait to see the fight. I'm looking forward to the fight just to see who is actually right in this competition, because I really feel people, especially as of late, people are already saying that Sean Porter has 1 foot in the game, 1 foot out the game, and he's looking towards a podcast career and a announcer career. They're already laying out excuses. So I'm just curious to see if I'm correct and Sean Porter be running into traps all night. Are they going to put that and say, "Oh, Sean Porter wasn't in the right state of mind. He was on his way out anyway"? Because I already see the excuses coming. So with that being said, you got anything else you want to add to this topic before we get out of here?
Probably gonna be a 2-part video, but it's one other question I want to ask you about this fight that's very interesting. When he first said it, I kind of, we hyped up. It's been made. I ain't gonna say too much about it, but we got to talk about it. Sean Porter is consistently saying, "I'm going not to beat Terrence Crawford. I'm going to stop Terrence Crawford." What is he seeing, or what is he thinking that makes him think he's going to stop Terrence Crawford? Because he said it yesterday. He said it when it first got made. He said it at the press conference. He said it on his own show. "I am going to stop Terrence Crawford." So what is it that he sees that makes him think he's going to stop Terrence Crawford?
In my opinion, I think he sees the same thing that you see. I think he sees that Terrence Crawford not going to be ready for that pressure you're going to put on him. I mean, he thinks with the same way you think. He thinks Terrence Crawford is chinny. He thinks if I hurt Terrence Crawford, I'm going to get him out of there. I'm not going to be like all the other opponents and rock him and then not jump on him. I'm going to rock him and get on him. I think he thinks that. I think him and his father know Terrence Crawford from back in the day. Of course, they both from the same area, so they know each other a lot better than people think they know him. So I think that his confidence is coming from that. His confidence is coming from being familiar with him. The rumors of him, the thought of him being chinny, and the thought of his style is being a problem for Terrence Crawford. But like I said, every fighter should think that. It's the same way he thought he was going to knock out Keith. He thought he was going to knock out Keith Thurman too. We see how that turned out. He also said he thought he can stop Errol Spence, and we saw how that happened. He didn't really hurt Errol Spence. So I'm curious to see, man. It could be all talk, but it could be some truth to it. We'll see how he fight on fight night. What you think about his statement?
I totally agree with you. I mean, you pretty much hit everything I was thinking. Like, I think that Sean Porter, like I said, might think he's slightly chinny, or think that his pressure could overwhelm Crawford in the late round, and maybe just off because he ain't got the pop to just hit Terrence Crawford and stop him or hurt him. If he gonna stop Terrence Crawford, it's gonna be because of his pressure was just so overwhelming that he got tired and he wore him out. And when he couldn't protect himself, Porter kept coming. I can't see that happening, but that's the only logical way I can see him stopping Terrence Crawford. Not really off of power, just off of stamina. Just, I'm tired of trying to keep this guy off me. He won't stop. And now I'm at the point I can't keep my hands up. He's hitting me, and the referee gonna stop the fight. Other than that, I don't see how in the hell he think he gonna stop Terrence Crawford. But like I said it before in the past, he's slightly chinny. And they said in camp, which is interesting. I saw yesterday too. He said that Shane Mosley said, Junior said he been watching Sean Porter, and that one thing he noticed is different. He's sitting down on his punches now. He's throwing these thumping punches. He's not just hitting the guy and just trying to, just trying to outwork a guy. He said he's sitting down and he's throwing 1 and 2 thumping punches. So I don't know what they see in Terrence Crawford, but I'm just ready for next week, man. We are almost a week away, 9 days, and I just can't wait.
One more final question. Also, I heard in the Fight Hype video with Sean Porter's father, he stated that you can't find sparring. They couldn't find sparring that matches Sean Porter, and they can't find sparring that matches Terrence Crawford. So, of course, in our previous show, we talked about Tank Davis sparring Sean Porter. So my next question is who do you think is harder to find sparring for? You think it's harder to find sparring to match a Sean Porter style, or you think it's harder to find sparring to match a Terrence Crawford style?
Wow, that's a tough question because they both are unique fighters, and it's very, very hard to copy their style. Oh, man. I would say it's slightly harder to find Terrence Crawford style. I don't think it's another Terrence Crawford out there unless you're gonna bring Boots in. Somebody like a guy like Boots that can switch that has the IQ and has the athleticism and the boxing ability and ring generalship to do everything Terrence Crawford does in the ring. Because I'm thinking about world-class fighters that I can't say that could copy, Terrence Crawford's side. I mean, I guess he's been in the ring with Boo Boo. If you get a guy like Boo Boo to get in the ring with you, he kind of could maybe copy some of the things that Terrence Crawford does. But for Shawn Porter, it's kind of similar. You could find guys that can create that pressure, but not the way Shawn Porter does it. So I would slightly lean towards it's harder to find guys for Terrence Crawford, but I think for Shawn Porter too, you're not going to find a guy for either camp that's going to pretty much be able to copy that style.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because you got to look at it too. When you fight somebody like Terrence Crawford, you got to have both-handed fighters in your camp. You got to have some southpaw fighters in your camp. You have some orthodox fighters in your camp, just to bring those two different looks. There ain't too many switch hitters that can do it on the level of Terrence Crawford. So you just can't have a whole camp full of switch hitters, because that's not going to benefit you none. You got to have people who fights great in their stances. So that's one of the reasons why he brought in a Tank Davis, because Tank Davis is a great southpaw. So you need to have a great southpaw look to be ready for a Terrence Crawford's southpaw look. I don't know what right-handed. You mentioned Shane Mosley Jr. earlier, Shane Mosley III earlier. So maybe he's in Terrence Crawford's. He's in Shawn Porter's camp. He's a great. I ain't say a great, but he's a decent right-handed orthodox fighter that could be, say, beneficiary to a right-handed Terrence Crawford look. But in my honest opinion, you can find sparring that matches Shawn Porter. You can bring in a Jeff Horn for a certain look. You can bring in bigger pressure fighter guys up from, like you said, the 154 and up. It's going to be leaning on you and coming straight forward on you and all that. But like you said, the hardest part to match with Shawn Porter's style is just finding somebody who knows the angles and how to come in on angles and pressure. That's the only thing Shawn Porter really, in my opinion, that he really does great, and he's really great at. Shawn Porter's only great at his motor. He has a non-stop motor. He has a great chin. And he has a way of coming in on angles and offsetting you. That's what he's great at. He's not going to change. He's going to be this. He's going to be that no matter who he fights. This is what he's good at. No matter you left-handed or right-handed, it don't matter. That's how Shawn Porter going to fight. So with that being said, it's a lot easier to find sparring with his style than it is to find Terrence Crawford. This was a great show, man. We're going to cut this up into 2 shows, obviously. It's a really, really great topic. We're going to keep talking about this fight more as it comes up. But yeah, you anything else you want to add to this topic? Or you want to just hold some stuff on another show?
Yeah, we're gonna cover more this week coming up. So we'll save it for later on the weekend or next week.
Most definitely. Like we said, man, it's your favorite channel, man. It's CTB. This is Chin Chuck Boxing. Yeah, Chin Check. Cut him out of here, man.
All right, everybody. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, notification, comment. Tell your mother, brother, sister, cousin, pastor, next door neighbor, co-worker. Let everybody know about the channel, man. We trying to keep boxing going, man. You know why? Because we love boxing and you love boxing. But most of all, God, peace, and love, and we out of here.
Undisputed junior welterweight champion of the world. From Omaha, Nebraska. In favor of the winner, remaining undefeated, proving he is one of the elite champions of the sport. The fight is over.